Alright, so we're back for another day. Yesterday we worked on the motors, getting them mounted and soldered to our ESCs. We got our flight controller all soldered up and installed on the board here. First thing we're going to work on today is the receiver, hooking the receiver up. I'm using a PPM receiver. This is a TBS Crossfire. No particular reason, it's just the only receiver I had available right now. For the plug that you're going to use comes in your flight controller box, and it's the largest plug, white plug here of the others. Now on this plug, you'll notice clear to one side of it, you'll have a brown and a red plug. That is your ground and your 5-volt positive. And then after that, you have pins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe there's 8 of them. I could be wrong. So for a satellite, you're going to use the ground. If you're going to do Spectrum satellite, you're going to use your ground here on this pin, or on this plug. And then you're going to find wire number 5, which should be this orange one towards the middle. So you're going to use those two wires right there. Okay, and then what you'll need to do is you'll need to solder your red wire from your satellite to the bottom side of this flight controller, and there's a 3.3 volt pad there. But for me, like I said, I'm using PPM. This receiver uses 5 volts. So we're going to use the ground. The next one over, which is the red wire, is our 5 volts, and the next one over, which is pin 1, and this is an orange one. These are the 3 we're going to use for PPM. The rest of them I do not need. Okay, so as I started to lift this up to move it over to connect it to in the next step, I realized that my camera is on the wrong side. So the camera should be mounted on the underneath side. Alright, so we've made it towards the end of the build. A couple things that I noticed here in the instructions when it tells you to put the arms on, it doesn't physically tell you to put your red gear on the center pin. No big deal, you know, it's just something that I caught while I was going through it. That there. The other thing that I would highly suggest is when you're putting these pins in for the arm through the frame, I would suggest leaving all of the screws loose while you're sticking them in. It made it easier to line it up, and then once everything got lined up, I screwed everything down at once when I did the standoffs for the top plate and the front mount here. The only thing I didn't go through in the build was the configuration through CleanFlight. I'll actually include the YouTube link on here that Michael has done through AimDroix. And then the last thing that wasn't on here is setting the arm angle. So you're going to loosen the two gears here, and basically what you want is you want this motor tilted back that way 3 degrees. You want this motor tilted forward 3 degrees, so they're kind of pointing in towards each other. At least that's what the instructions say. And there's a few more things in here that you could probably go through to make sure everything is up. In that YouTube video, it would actually go through and show you the CleanFlight setup, the calibration of the ESCs. That all went pretty quick. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Oh, by the way, one last thing before I get finished here. This build took me, 3 or 4 days. But that's only with the build process itself, trying to do the videos, trying to cut and paste everything, things like that. This build should take you somewhere in the area of 4 or 5 hours if you follow the instructions to a T. Give or take a few minutes. An experienced builder, maybe 3.5, 4. Not so experienced, 4, maybe 5. So good luck. We hope to see you at the field. See you next time.